So one of the big ideas that I pitched was the first sort of entertainment and fashion awards in the country, and that became the Lifestyle Awards, and it's been 19 years since that show. So that show sort of germinated into 2000 and happened in 2002, and then now it's on a 19-year journey. Similarly, sort of realized that there was no in Pakistan, there was no red carpet. The celebrities, when I did the first show, it started like 4 hours late because celebrities were so disorganized. Nobody knew how to do the red carpet. The host came 4 hours late. So there was a lot of learnings from that. And I realized that I have to teach them how to do this. So I brought in stylists. I told them how to dress up. We had to cheat the whole thing. We had to cheat the autograph seekers, and we had one limo in all of Karachi. We got that limo to come in so that we could create that whole red carpet atmosphere with photographers and paparazzi. So I introduced the first red carpet, and then बस just बहुत उसके बाद, you know, I wanted to do, I also realized that there was no training for the models. They do everything would happen on the job. What I started doing then was started a show called the Beat Supermodel Contest. But it took me 12 years to get that concept through to a client. They were so afraid of this whole model concept and, you know, how people will perceive it and all, that they were not willing to take a chance. So actually, there was another show and I just said, let me just do this one episode of this. It became so successful that the next year they asked me to do 6. And the year after that, it became a show on its own on television. So these are the sort of things that we kept introducing. There were no media walls with branding and clients, things. So we started doing that. But all of it had to be like an education, educating the audience and educating the masses and educating so many different people to understand how the industry for entertainment and fashion runs. So wow. That's basically been the journey, to whatever, 2001. And the thing is that you have to keep adapting. I'm very happy that it's been 31 years and that it's come so far that there's so many other companies now, event companies. There are so many talent managers now. There's so many celebrity managers and publicists and PR companies. But someone has to take a start and find, I always say Pakistan's like virgin territory. There's so much that hasn't been done that you just have to take the bull by the horns and take the risk. Take the risk if you believe and work really hard, and you will just get there.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So lots of things in there: innovation, creativity, need, trailblazing, many firsts, okay, for you guys as well. So amazing journey. Frieha, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And Frieha, I think I just love the energy and the way you've been sort of sharing the whole story. Your journey is very authentic. So, and you've already explained some sort of challenges and hurdles, but when you're reflecting back, some learnings that you want to share, and what is it that you want to share, especially when people are there in their low moments?
I think that anyone who says if you don't have a high, you're not going to know the high if you don't know the low. And there have been so many low moments in my life, and from on a personal level. And it's mostly been in my relationships. Okay, and it's always usually in your relationships that you have, issues and all. So my work has always been like a crutch. So I was always on this go-getting thing, but I was never really dealing with the personal stuff in the same way that I would have dealt with in my professional life and the things that I would be doing. So I always say that when you have the low moments, you have to think it's hard. It's really hard. Because I went through, I don't know if Talat remembers this, but Talat, obviously we were related also at one point. I think that was probably, I thought at that point where I felt very abandoned by myself. That was my lowest moment. And because I was young, perhaps, I dealt with it with depression. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't sleep. I literally had suicidal thoughts at that time. And a strong person like me has no shame in saying this because it's real. And suddenly, I think maybe it was the work that kind of lifted me up and it was a project of trying to do something that actually got me to stop thinking, because it's your mind, it wanders and you go into different lows. And so it's anything that it could be work, it could just be exercise, it could just be going out more, being more social, talking to people, sharing what you're feeling with others who are feeling the same way. And there is a fight for women in Pakistan. There is a huge battle, and I think in the time that Talat and I were sort of emerging, I mean, we were models, but was zamane mein, they said, models, this is a do numbri kaam, only girls from, there was a good girl, there was a fast girl, sorry. There was a fast girl and there was a good girl. I mean, it's a very sort of Victorian, I would say old-fashioned concept, which is ingrained in us. And it's not just because of our culture, it's also because of the Ingres culture. I realized over the time, convent school, you have to go to the convent, you do this, you have to do it's later, you have to be married by a certain time. You should only kiss somebody you're getting married to, right? All those things are ingrained into our system. And so you're fighting both ends. You think there's nothing wrong with it. Like my family is very conservative, but very emancipated in education. Education is everything. You have to get an education. And at the same time, their stress was, iski shadi bhi honi hai. So I think that's what I went through, at least at that time. I know it's not the same anymore. And I teach my daughter completely differently. I never say to her, you have to get married. I don't say anything to her. I just always push the education button, because I say, get more education, understand things. There's no pressure, no stress, because we've learned the hard way. The fast girl concept was such a insulting word. Someone said that to me actually earlier this year on a trip, and said, the first time I met you, everyone told me you're such a fast. I said, just because I was out there having my photographs taken and looking pretty, you thought I was game, So this is the concept in people's mind. And I still think at some level in the entertainment business, people still have that impression that, you're a model, you're not going to be successful. You don't have a brain cell, you're selling your looks. So people judge a lot, and in Pakistan it's very difficult. I'm just telling you, we had to camouflage fashion shows as cultural shows to be able to do them. But we fought the system. We stood up. Yeah.
No, I think what I really like, you mentioned a lot of relatable sort of themes there, but you fight the system. You just don't sort of come to the pressure. So I think that is very, very important.